Page 37, Waltzing Alone. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to a new symbol. It's that curved line. Now the line might appear above the notes or below the notes. It's not important. It's a curved line. And this line has a lot of confusion for a lot of people, me including, because it actually has three different meanings to it. And it depends on the instrument. For piano it might mean one thing. For violin it might be something else. For a clarinet it might be something else. I use these other examples because I play these other instruments and I've been there, done that, because it gets confusing sometimes. But we're talking piano here. They're calling it a slur and they're talking about phrases. Now, those are two different things. And this symbol can indicate either one or both. So it's confusing. Are we talking about a slur or a phrase? Well, use a little logic and figure it out. A slur simply means connect the notes as best you can. There's no silence between the notes. So in this first line here, the whole line, they got this over the whole thing, you're going to connect all those notes. Well, we've been connecting the notes all along, and we didn't have the line. The difference is that with the line, they want you to connect the notes, and if there is no line, it's your choice whether you do or not. And we'll get into that, because that's interpreting, and we need to learn to interpret music. Right now, let's just focus on this. So we're going to connect all these notes, no silence between any of them. And then at the end of the line, we're going to lift up, but because between these you just lift up and down. It's just a real little motion, but it gives a speck of silence before you go on. So the last note in the first line is a G. First note in the second line is an F. We don't connect those. You lift up, and you just cut the G a little bit short. And then lift up. It's like taking a breath, sort of, except you don't mess up the beat. The beat goes on. So at the last measure of the first line is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we connect all the notes in the second line because it's got that big thing. So in this case, that line is indicating a slur means connect the notes. It's also indicating a phrase. It's doing double duty here. A phrase is a musical sentence. We talk in sentences, generally. Short sentences, long sentences, whatever. Run-on sentences. Well, in music, we think in musical sentences. It's musical thought. And it's easier if they put words in there because you can follow the words, the sentences and the words. Here, it's a musical thought. And it just sounds right. The first line is just one musical thought. That's it. That's one sentence, musical sentence. And then the second line is another musical sentence. That's a sentence. So a phrase is a sentence. So the first line is a phrase. The second line is a phrase. It's another phrase. And you separate the phrases with a little silence between each one, just a little up and down. Now this has a repeat sign. Do we have repeat signs or not? I can't remember now. In case we have it, at the end of the second line, you see the thin and thick bar lines you get like at the end of the piece. Well, when it has two dots in front of it, it's not that anymore. Now it's a repeat sign. That means go back to the beginning and play it all again. You repeat it. You only do it once. Then when you get down there for the second time, then you stop. Then it's the end of the piece. Well, it's important because when you're doing phrasing, the last note in the second line ends a phrase. So before you repeat and go back up to do the G, you lift up. So there's a little silence. Don't connect the C and the G. Lift up. Even though two hands are doing it, you're lifting up and you're coming down, sort of. You feel that. It's a new phrase. So at the end of the second line there, to end it, and then repeat and go back up, it's 1, 2, 3. And there's just a little silence between them. That ends one sentence and starts another. I'll talk a lot about that because it's important. Now this piece is a waltz. It's part in the name, Waltzing Alone. A waltz is a piece that is in 3/4 time. A waltz is a dance. Look up the history of waltzes and minuets and waltzes and find out all about them. It's just, most everyone is familiar with the dance of a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And there are different speeds for waltzes. You got fast waltzes and slow waltzes and medium waltzes or whatever. Just so long as you understand what a waltz is, that's good enough. Let's try this out slowly to check the notes and the rhythms and the phrasing. You want to lift up between the phrasing. We want to hear the phrasing. So go ahead and put your hands, actually your middle C position. There we go. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, repeat. 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, off. Now there's a teacher accompaniment at the bottom. I'd like to play that while you play this waltz thingy. And let's try it out. And remember, we are going to repeat it though. So I'll give us 3 counts. So go put your hands in middle C position and we'll start. 1, ready, go.